your questions in the chat. And after that, you can ask them just by asking, right? Or also in the chat. So here we go. Well, actually, I want to say a few words before I start. Why sex and mindfulness? If you follow me on Eventbrite with the free events that I've been doing for a couple of years now, in addition to my in-person events, one of them is called Creating Tantra Experiences at Home, and another one is just a conversation, similar to this as about intimacy coaching. So in my last Creating Tantric Experiences at Home, someone just said that is Tantra really is just mindful sex? And they were very excited about it. It is still very exciting to me, no matter how long I've been studying this. Thank you, Romero. And how practicing this. Yes, sex can be conscious practice. Sex can be a practice, spiritual practice. There are different ways to approach our sexuality, and this approach resonates with me personally. That's why at some point become curious about it. But I also see the incredible power, healing power of this approach to a relationship, to a sexuality, including your own sexuality, but also the sexuality you share with your partner. And that is just something that many people are not aware of, right? So yes, thank you. I see the messages, and if it is something a little bit longer than, or if it's not a question, I would encourage you to text me, to message me directly, so I can really pay attention and we won't be distracted during the conversation. All right. So, but thank you so much for sharing. And tantric healing is an amazing modality. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how I approach it during the coaching. So starting off is, again, a little bit of this container, right? The container is, I mostly work with couples, and I mostly work with couples who are actually in a committed relationship. Saying that, I do see other clients too. But what inspired me to choose this direction as a primary direction is how little resources people who want to deepen their one-on-one relationship have, right? And for when I teach my Tantra workshop, we often discuss what comes up for you when you hear word Tantra. And it's such a vast reality, and it can be related to sexuality or not. It can be related to spirituality or not. It can be really, really something very that belongs in this in a world of polyamory and extreme expansion of your capacities to feel, and it can be something very subtle, right? All right. Yeah, that we have a so let's get going. Let's get going. I would like to share something with you. And that's a very simple in this relationship with a deeper connection out there, right? How can you improve? And first thing that comes to mind, right? It's and I hear it all the time. Oh, why can't we just read a book or watch a video? Right? That's first the self growth, doing it by yourself, or what is the okay? Talk therapy might be helpful, right? To move through or to learn to move through challenges or move through. And another possibility would be somatic body work. And somatic body work is very wide reality that is out there. It can be from, so let me move here, right? If it's a group situation, if you ever heard of cuddle parties, well, everyone know that sex clubs exist and some visit them, or there are tantra festivals. There are workshops on connection and that are clothes optional, right? And that is amazing. And that is if it's done properly, if it's has the right boundaries and right setup. Those are amazing ways to explore. And at the same time, we all and as a couple, if you're a couple who looking at this or listening to this, or an individual and thinking, well, but that doesn't really fits into my belief system, or if it's too much of a stretch, or you already feeling that your relationship is sacred, your relationship is deserve a bubble, to have a bubble where you focus just on each other without bringing someone's energy. Great. That if in that's what I'm saying, that I'm bringing it up because I found out after 7 years of working as an intimacy coach, coming from a tantric perspective and working more and more with monogamous couples, that's their sense. So what is possible then if we know that sustainable transformation in our whole self, right, mind, body, spirit, actually requires firsthand experiences. But what if one of us or both of us are missing those experiences or knowledge, going through our own healing? It can be either emotional trauma in the past from previous relationships, or it can be the sexual trauma, any kind of trauma or abuse. So what if we have that history and we are together and we want to create something? And how do we create this experience? Right? Books, not experience. Videos, okay, you can learn some. And workshops might not be within our relationship agreements or our comfort level, right? So let's go quickly talk more about this. So, well, I already said about books, right? It's amazing. We can get it on a mental level, right? We can get it on a mental level. And yet, how do we get it in the body? It's not an embodied experience. Therapy. Well, the challenge, I absolutely support therapy, and I think everyone should have a therapist, even if just for support. And yet, the limitations of conventional therapy are somatic practices are not being facilitated. And by facilitating, I mean unless a therapist is also a coach, uh, they don't have maybe enough training or confidence or personal experience on how to guide through somatic practices or how to model certain somatic experiences. And somatic means body, right? Anything that has to be with body. It can be movement, it can be touch, practicing touch. It can be body awareness, right? Guiding through practices of body awareness. So that's unfortunately often not part of a training. Sometimes, yes. In most of the times, unfortunately not. The focus is on the mind, right? Figuring out the communication techniques and unfolding what happened to you in the past and creating strategies. Also, with the therapy, it's a short sessions. It's a typical way how therapy works. And there is a benefit for that. And again, on the mind level, that works. But in order to access something that is body related, either trauma or we talk about dropping into the heart, right? In Tantra and in overall holistic approach to intimacy, emotional, mental, emotional, physical, we need time. Body is the slowest level of our being. It needs time to start feeling, to start to get into their senses, to get out of this fight, flight, or freeze response, right? So that's why relaxation is such a crucial step, and yet to unfold, to shift from the fast pace that we most of us living in, it takes time. So 1 hour session just cannot do that. We cannot drop down, right? And no touch, I mentioned that because it's not just facilitating touch, but for a very good reason, right? The conventional therapy just cannot provide touch unless it's a massage therapy, but then it's a different thing, right? We're talking about muscles. And in intimacy, in holistic intimacy coaching, we are focusing on sensations on our skin, enhancing, owning, learning how to offer, learning how to receive. Okay. And as I said, the somatic practitioners can be not a good choice for everyone, but also it can be a variety of reasons, right? To avoid that. As amazing as this modality is when offered from the right space with integrity. And again, somatic practitioners can be anything from a cuddler, from different types of sex workers, tantric massage, and so on, right? So tantric massage for awakening, tantric massage for awakening pleasure, tantric massage for healing emotional blockages through physical touch, right? So the hard to find part is, yes, it's hard to find sometimes in some areas of the United States and Canada. I believe you want to feel safe. You want to know that this person is professional, and so it's mostly by referral, right? And in some parts it is illegal, or some part of what I described is illegal. And that's unfortunate. In many cases, I believe it is unfortunate. And maybe it will change. There is more in Europe going on right now, specifically tantric massage is legal there. And we might be some changes in the future, but that's what it is right now. So out of all those options, my strong belief and experience is, after 7 years of creating this practice and growing in this practice and adapting this offering and practice. And I'm not the only intimacy coach apparently, but I want to share with you my approach and something that you can start implementing yourself or with my help, right? So intimacy coaching provides a safe space for couples to discover and develop their essential sex and intimacy skills in this certain container. Well, if it's couples for in their exclusive relationship, if it's an individual, it is to some extent practicing with me, right? Practicing the essential skills of emotional and tactile connection. Everything that is happening in the session is you don't take your clothes off, right? So there is no nakedness, but it's all it's creating the foundation. And for couples, taking it further each time you go home and do a home assignment or home play, we say. So everything that you do clothes on, you do with less clothes or without the clothes when you are on your own. I would say choosing the right coach, and is like choosing a perfect yoga teacher. I've been teaching yoga for 10 years and I've been practicing for more. So I very, very much remember this process of first finding your person. There are intimacy coaches there, but finding someone who resonates with you, with their style, with their personality, very important. And it is especially important if you want to start learning how to bring mindfulness into your sex life, how to bring more awareness, how to learn how to heal the past and learn the skills that will take you to where you are. And for most people, it is a deeper emotional connection and more pleasure in their relationship. So, flourish in intimacy approach, which is my coaching name, Flourish in Intimacy with Jeanna Lee. It is holistically oriented, meaning we look at the whole, not the parts, right? That you as a whole, as a couple, as a person with all your physical, emotional, and mental states and stages where you are right now. It is rooted in Tantra. And if you're interested in Tantric approach specifically, please join my workshops. I have a monthly workshop for couples in Watertown, and there is a free workshop, 1 hour introduction through Eventbrite, also approximately once a month, or schedule a conversation with me. The approach includes comfort and safety. I know it sounds simple, but it's so crucial. When you come to my office and you saw the picture of my office behind me, we always start with creating a certain space, internal space, but also the external space is already created for you. The right smell, the right sound, the right lighting, the texture of the blanket or couch that you're sitting on. We drink some tea and we go over about where everything that you bring with you, right? We never ever jump into any practices, especially somatic practices. We really set a stage, ground, land in a space first, and land in our body. And there are specific practices that I teach you how to do it when you are back home, right? So you learn it and then you practice at home. And very important aspect of this approach is being intentional, creating goals. It's not the endless process. we have a clear beginning and clear completion. We have a clear goal. The first thing, questions that I start asking you are the all around, what is it that you want? If you can't access it, we do some practices, how to access my true desire versus something that I'm supposed to want, or something that I think my partner would want me to want. Okay. So how does it look like? And just for you, a little bit of visual, right? Guided communication practices. Uh, yes, you are being guided through a certain way to communicate, a certain way to have conversation when one of you are holding a space for each other, another one is flowing out. How to hold that space without getting triggered, how to find the courage sometimes or awareness to get present to what to say, what do you want to say, what coming up for you naturally. So that's a big part of this work. Guided touch practices. As I said, it can happen just sitting on the couch. It can be that one of you is lying on a massage table, and another one is standing or sitting next to you. It can be just sitting on the floor. I do teach positioning for the better energy flow. And by positioning, I mean it can be positioning just for having a heart centered conversation. It is important how we position our bodies to support our partner to be more safe while being vulnerable, to support the sense of energy flow going between us. That is mostly coming from Tantra, all those positions, but also it can be sex positions. It can be sex positions that are all have all this element of directing energy in a certain way, sharing energy in the same way, in a certain way, right? It is in-depth sex education. We talk in details using different models, right, about anything that interests you. We dive into the psychology and anatomy of female arousal, male arousal, and how to synchronize those. Very often people come into me, couples come into me, and if it's a male part, male and female, then the partner, one partner is up here, another one is down here, right? One partner is full with frustration, sexual frustration. Another one cannot access their body, and they're missing each other, right? So through education, through tantric practices, through heart-centered communications, we bring you into balance. That's what sexuality and mindfulness, right? We bring it together. We learn how to take this sexual tension down, not suppressing, spreading it through all kind of your whole being, and enhance and direct your mindfulness toward this juicy, spicy connection toward passion. So infuse mindfulness with passion in a way. Tantric healing and awakening is something that I'm very passionate about. And it is something that I do teach couples in the, and what you see in the format of 3 days. That is one of my offers that are the most transformative. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it. How does it work? But tantric healing and awakening It's a term that's used by Charles Muir, the creator of a school, Tantra school, the oldest Tantra school in the United States. And it is a sort of a ritual, if you will. It's a healing ritual that every couple can learn how to do, how to offer to each other. It's a 90-minute process, including emotional connection and sensual massage. But by sensual massage, what people think sometimes when they hear sensual massage, well, they think of sexual pleasure and orgasm, right? Though the tantric sexual massage, sensual massage, is about awakening and expanding your capacity to feel both in your body and in your heart. So it's a very special, very a process, and it's also a skill. It's a skill of being with your partner in a certain way, being in your partner in a role, in a supporting role, supporting their healing, supporting their sexual awakening. Couples who learn that change their sex life forever. It's amazing to see how much transformation is happening with couples who learn it and then practice it once a month. Everything in between becomes so much easier. Your communication, your physical connection, your feelings toward each other. It's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to watch, and I think everyone should be aware of it and learn it. Truly transformative for any relationship at any stage, right? So sometimes couples learn it very early in their relationship. And I had couples and continue having couples who've been together for up to 52 years. That's the longest one. And they still benefit hugely from this. So, and one thing I want to clarify, right? It's a bigger container. By bigger container, I mean it is this 3 days specifically for Tantra. It's 3 days. It's a mini retreat for just you. And this beginning and end, clear goals, right? If you look at my website, that's what you will see. That's the format I work with couples, right? 3 days, find your bliss, 15 hours. Build your intimacy skills, that typically 3 months, but they can be repeated. And sometimes people start with just doing a 3-hour session, which is the minimum. Again, dropping down to connect your sexuality with your full mind, body, spirit. We need time to drop. We need skills. We need practices to drop down, right? To even start addressing something under whatever you experience. Is it miscommunication? Is it not be able to get in the flow, or wanting more? Or wanting more, or things being okay or good enough, but you want to go deeper. All right. And you're aware about my group workshops. So if you go on Eventbrite, and all of you came from Eventbrite, right, there are other possibilities to work in a group. So I'm very curious, what are you here? What comes up for you? Is this something that you thought about? Is this approach, does this approach, I would like to know, or maybe spiritual aspect of sexuality. Okay, so how can